Hey, what is up guys, it's your boy Tway here. It's been a long time since I've either streamed or posted a video. Reason for that, I'm currently in my finals, so I need to lay low a little bit and actually just focus on those things. So best believe that whenever I feel like I can be making a video, I will be making one. But for now, we got something special, and that is the last video on Eclipse pre-patch. Now on the newest patch, there will be a lot that is changing, so I'm super excited for that. But let's just check how well I could perform in the last gimmick, because Kayn is benched. He's not on my team anymore, so who is it that I got this time? Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, we got ourselves a Cecilia composition. Now, reason why this is really good is Lavril and Mariana both give immortality, meaning that you cannot go below, what is it, 10 or 5% HP, which means you're alive. So if you kill anything super fast, then it is amazing. Now, if you go up against the cucaracha, if you then jump, none of your other characters will get hit. Look at that. Nobody's getting hit. I can just cheese the living hell out of this one. Now, there's another thing that I want to keep into account is this is probably the only content that I'm still using Shane. The CC immunity makes it so that Cecilia doesn't get stunned midway, and it also means that you don't get jumped by the worms in this case. Now, from what I've heard, Cecilia's not the best one for this, and Galati actually is. Reason for that, he has constant damage, constant uptime on buffs, and Cecilia, her S3 is on a relatively very long cooldown. Her S2 is on a 5-second cooldown, so no 100% uptime. Now, if you are then against the bosses, I don't believe you can be going that much further. But in either case, it works. It works quite a lot. Now, in the upcoming patch, what they will change is that the waves, they don't stack. That means currently I'm using a tactic to get myself up to wave 29 to then get my Celine up there and then start the game. Reason why, the worms will jump my culo and that stuff will hurt. If then one of my characters die along the way, I'm having a problem. So then I devised two teams that will allow me to get to wave 30 super easy. However, on the newest patch, this cannot be done, so I had to come up with another gimmick that would allow me to survive a little bit better. Because what you guys may have seen on the previous video, I use Kayn as a damage dealer, buffer, amper, whatever you want to call it. And that instead of Frey. Now, Frey's shield is one of those things that will allow you to have a very nasty team when it comes to survivability. The damage, however, is kinda low. But by benching Kayn, I can actually put down another character in there and use my Kayn then in a newest patch for another team that may need some damage. Now, the biggest question mark is, what did I use? Did I go back to Frey? Do I go for Mei? Lavril's already being used in the team, so who is it? Well, I'll get to that in a little bit. So what I believe needs to be changed into Eclipse is the fact that there's healing rate reduction. And not because of my chase, but if they will change the waves up and the healing rate reduction is still going to be there, for newer players this will be impossible. Because currently, your tanks, they have little to no value if they are really tanky. Your healers are little to no value when they are good at healing, because after 5-6 waves, their healing will be reduced to 0. This will need to be removed, because otherwise the only meta that there is very simple, and that is the Spirit Morph Ring meta, and it is lame as hell and susceptible to only, and I mean only, the veteran players. Surprise, surprise, this is the new team. What the hell is Evan doing in here? Well, since his shield is scaling quite similar to Frey's, that is interesting. He's given 30% attack, which is interesting, on his T5 Dark, and 300 attack speed on top of that, which kind of amplifies with my Celine. So let's check out how far we can get this. Spoiler alert, it's big as hell! And if you can see the title, well, you kind of already may guess that I'm taking this pretty far. Another huge gimmick to Evan is his S3 on the dark form has an insane amount of stunning rate. So in my case, if my Spirit Morph Ring almost runs out, I press that S3 and I get so much extra time for killing these little wolves, rats, whatever the hell they're called. So ultimately, in contrast to Kayn, Evan makes this first part really easy. Another thing that makes this team better is Rohartna's S2 can now be used on Glenwiz at all times. If you run Kane on the T5 Dark, he will be blasting his own HP. And that also means that the lowest HP shield will then go to Evan instead of Glenwiz. Now as for the tactics, and if you can see how much damage I'm doing the bosses, it is still quite insane. Now for the last few waves, I will give you guys a nifty tactic which helped me along the way. So on 36 I open up with S3, yoink, everything is pretty much dead. Then on to the next one, I make sure to save up some of my skills to either stun whenever necessary or shield so that Glenwiz can pop one of her skills. And in this case, just before the Spirit Morph Ring runs out, I use one of these skills to then help my Glenwiz to survive and stun these monsters. Once again, S3 giving a lot of extra stunning rate, and on the last wave, a 39, I will be able to then just open up S3, kill about everything in one go, and we are up at wave 40. Now always from wave 40 is the time where I take a breather, so I'm taking out a lot of parts in the video and start with this wave. Now let's start off with some gear. Now these are the perks for Glenwiz. The reason why I'm not taking T3 Dark anymore is for one reason. Now I'm rotating between S1 and S2 when it comes to damage amping. As for this little guy, this is what I'm using. Honestly, all of his skills are quite caca, but in all cases his buffs are insane. Rohartna and Celine, they didn't really change in contrast to what I had, and well, the Lulu's necklace itself helps out a lot and a lot of extra damage and MP, quite frankly. The only thing I don't know is whether the Heart of the Abyss would be better at some point than the Feather, but it's a 5-star, so I'm gonna just use it. Now at this point, wave 65 is where it turns hard, and at wave 70 I have to make an assessment whether I can kill this thing in one go or not. So what I'd rather do is get the S1 Dark of Evan in, make sure I get all full buffs in, and make sure to then hit him really hard. And now I gotta hope whether this would kill him and not my Glenwiz at the start, but she had a shield on herself, so that is why she is surviving as much as she does. Another tactic that I have been doing is stacking arrows on Celine. So the moment you use your S2 on Celine, then use S3 straight away on Rohartna, that means that you get more arrows to then shoot. It is one of those tactics that allows me to kill wave 75s more often at the start. This used to be better with Kane because his amplifications are a little bit better and there is less attack speed, which also means less of these arrows being shot. However, is that really necessary? No, it's all debatable. And when I feel like I cannot kill one of these things, what I do, I just press the S1, one shot just about everything because of the maximum amount of arrows stacked. Now killing this lady doesn't seem all that hard, but what I'm doing every single time is I'm stacking up each other's buffs and make sure to kill it. But if she does get to summon, I'm guaranteed dead. Now when I get to 74, or at least Skavir, I make sure to pop up my soul weapon, because my soul weapon will be good enough to kill both 74 and 75 at the same time. And once this guy's cherry is popped, once again I make the assessment, do I open up with S1 into S2, or do I go for enough damage onto S3 while I debuff everybody? So I use 2 debuffs, S1 on both Glenwiz and Evan on the dark form. Make sure to pop all that damage, and now I wait. I didn't have to do anything else besides just waiting for my soul weapon to just powder smack the cucaracha into the face. Now is where the harder part comes in, because now the soul weapon has run out, which means I am on a way terms of lower damage. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to stun this guy in the meantime. I did not pop my Evan fast enough, so that made it a little bit hazy. Then again, still was able to make it, and stacking arrows once again onto Celine, making sure I got just about anything. Now in combination, Rohartna S2 for the shield, extra damage amp, then doing S1 on Glenwiz, similar factor. Now I got another shield popped up, so that means I'm doing an X amount of damage, nobody is getting killed. And even if this dude would have done the maximum damage, I'm not even sure if Evan would then allow us to survive. Shot of Hellfire, well, I honestly don't believe this one is very hard, but I'd rather use the S1 Dark on Evan to make sure that I survive this. Now at this point, I'm basically just pressing buttons. I forgot about all my tactics and I'm just hoping for it to be better than my usual stuff, but we're about to find out if I can. Skavir, once again, soul weapon pop. I got no buffs at all, so that scared the living fuck out of me. So I tried stunning or pre-stunning a little bit, use the S1. Now I've used up all of my arrows, which then means my damage right now will be maximum caca. I also got no skills beside an S1, so I'm hoping that my soul weapon will just blast this thing down. Luckily I got one stun in, but if you hit him to 33% or lower, he will do this. I got a shield though, so I survive. I don't care. But here is the bottleneck, the thing that I haven't been able to do just yet. Could I have done it? Maybe if I didn't stun the cucaracha, maybe if I S1 Evan sooner, maybe if there's a lot of things that I could have done, but yeah, sadly I wasn't able to. And here is where I strand. Could I have done it better? Yeah, maybe, but either way, 81, looking pretty nice. Now this is the last video that I'll be showing you pre-Eclipse patch on Eclipse. Whenever the new patch hits, best believe I'm gonna make a new video. For now, this is Twebby. Peace!